This is the case of mystery here.
Ooh.
I know, it's personalized.
Is there a puppy in there?
There is a puppy in here.
Yes, I've always wanted this to happen.
I forgot air holes. So.
Oh no. I do have an interesting moment from when I was a little kid. I remember the day that we got a piano in my family. My parents got it at like a yard sale down the street, I think, from one of our neighbors, and they brought it home, and it had 66 keys and was a player piano. And I remember standing next to the piano and my mom being like, you have to pick one. You can either take dance lessons or piano lessons, and you can't do both. And I remember standing there and thinking about it, and I have this very clear picture of that moment in my head, and I picked piano. And thank God for that, because I am a horribly uncoordinated person when it comes to like body movement. And
so your mom gave you a Sophie's choice of art,
basically,
and you went with piano.
Yeah, and I dodged a bullet. I didn't even know that I was
really? Did you know that you were
avoiding a terrible fate?
Hold on, food's arrived. Do you remember what was the first song that you learned on piano?
Oh, well, I took piano learning. I learned piano using the Suzuki method, so everyone learns the same first song. So
okay, I've read about Suzuki method, but give it to me in a sentence or two.
So it's basically the idea that you can learn to play an instrument the same way that you learn your native language, which is a super, super complicated task, but one that little kids learn all the time. So it's learning by immersion. You hear it constantly. You learn to talk before you would ever learn to read or write. So it's the same kind of thing. You learn by ear, and then later you put the written symbols and the language together for the language that you're already speaking or playing.
When you're in the Suzuki method, are you aware that it's even working, or are you kind of like, well, I don't get this? Like, it's got to be frustrating.
No, it was fun. I mean, I was a little kid. I was in kindergarten, so there was no like, look at, count the lines and read the things. It was just like, cool, listen to music, and then let's try to play it. I think I liked it. It's a long time ago.
Okay, so you weren't learning like a first song. You were just learning method, I guess, and playing.
No, everyone learns the same thing at the very beginning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Classics, probably.
Yeah, it's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
That's a classic.
It is the classic of the classics. top tier.
How many keys are on a keyboard on a piano?
That would be 88.
So 66 is a small one. Is that what you said before?
Yeah, the one that I learned to play on was smaller and had less keys, and we had to. I remember when we had to get rid of it and get a bigger piano because
you were. Damn it!
I was running out.
She's good at this. We're gonna have to stick to this.
Oh shit!
God damn it! She's really good. Now what? All right, let's pick another card and see where we go here.
What is your most indulgent purchase? Well, if I'm not gonna lie about that, I'm a serious coffee addict, and I feel guilty every time I buy a ridiculous cup of coffee. Like I want to punch myself in the face when they're like, that's $5.45. And I'm like, but it's so good.
So how do you like your coffee?
Black.
Black, but is there like
unadulterated, just perfect.
What about when you're on the road though? Because you're on the road a ton now between this and Ghostlight. Are you able to get good coffee on the road?
Yeah, we have a cooler in our van, and it is just full of bottles and bottles of coffee.
Bottles of coffee?
Like cold brew, ready to go, like break glass in case of emergency. That and my piano.
There we go.
Yeah.
Let's talk. So the piano's an indulgent purchase, but it's the tools of your trade.
That one I don't feel guilty about though.
You
That one's like, that's something I wanted to own my entire life, and I love it. I mean, I love my coffee too, but there's a lot of keyboard instruments in my house, yeah. But I don't feel bad about those. The coffee, I kind of want to punch myself every time I do it.
Is there a lot of keyboards? Do we have a lot of keyboards in the house?
We have a few pianos in the house. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, there's an organ, and there's a Rhodes, and there's an upright piano, and then there's my grand piano, and then there's another little baby piano that we rescued from a parking garage. It was like abandoned and sad, like like the lost puppy dog that you bring home, and you're like, can we keep it? One of those.
Yeah, and once you bring it home, even you're like, oh, we're just going to keep it for a little bit until we find a home.
Yeah, you can't take it back.
It's never going away.
We bonded, and
So if you
it made friends with the other keyboard instruments. They're like a family. I didn't feel like I could separate them at that point. So
it's a pack.
Yeah, they're a family.
So when you go into your house, are they all out to be seen?
They're kind of stashed in different parts of the house, mostly so that maybe like my husband who's sitting over there will maybe not like be shocked and remember how many of them there are every time he walks in. Try to like
lessen the blow every time he comes home.
Like maybe by the time he walks downstairs, he'll forget that there was one upstairs too, so we can kind of
Kind of one in every room.
Well, what's his indulgent purchase then?
I don't know.
I think I have an indulgent purchase.
The bank account was empty after I bought all those pianos.
How many pianos is too many pianos?
Yeah, you're right. I see
How
where
many
this
pianos
is
is too many pianos?
There is no number.
No?
No. That's like asking how much love can you fit in your heart? It's
The ocean is love.
Ocean.
The ocean is love.
An ocean's worth of love, yes.
it's a bottomless well, you know.
We're on a soul planet.
Yes, we are. I like this guy.
I like Tweezer, I like Ghost, I like the dark stuff.
Okay, I think everybody can agree to Ghost and Tweezer.
Yeah, I like Piper. The thing that I'm most interested in isn't really the song. It's like any time that things go into the unexpected. You know, like, hey, this song always does this when the improv started. And then this one time it did something completely different where you're like, wait, huh? That's what I'm really into. Like, that's why I've seen Phish as many times as I have. And when you're like, what's your favorite song? Really, my favorite song is like the question mark part, right? Like the part in between, but when it does something that it doesn't usually do.
So is that why you were drawn to Tahoe Tweezer?
Yeah, 100%. And the one jam transcription that I did for The Dead too,
Beautiful.
well, the Beautiful Jam and then the Eyes of the World from Freedom Hall, those both are like, they go into the unexpected. Like, it's, you know, what some people call type 2 jamming. It's like leaves the usual form and goes, you know, off the rails a little bit. That's what I'm looking for.
When you recorded those, what was the plan? I'm going to just throw these up on the web. What was the idea there?
The Tahoe Tweezer was just like a personal project. I needed a hobby, you know, and I was just doing it for kicks, and I wasn't even gonna record it or post it. Jeffrey actually convinced me to do that, and I was like, no one cares about this. There's got to be like 7 people out there that are like, you know, basically also nerds and are gonna nerd out on this. But it turns out the world is full of nerds.
So you put it on YouTube first, right?
Yeah.
Were you? I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever ready for that kind of moment to happen like that, but was it fun or was it more nerve-wracking?
No, it was super fun. I mean, I like surprises. I like the unexpected, you know. I was, you know, it kind of happened at a point too where I was looking like for something different to do, you know, like a new direction to take in life, and this door opened and I was like, cool, let's do this. Let's like go in with both feet, you know. Ghostlight's been like my entire year this year. It's been super fun.
I think Lock-In may have been a kind of a watershed moment for the band there, right?
It felt like it. I mean, it's the biggest stage we played on together as a unit, and it, you know, it was like the, you know, cap on top of all of our summer festival plays, and then the tours that we did in the months leading up to that. And so everything kind of built to that as like, okay, this was like our first season together, you know?
I was checking out the message boards because I don't have things to do with my life, and
That's the best reasoning for being on a message board.
yeah, it's sad. I need to figure things out. But there was so much talk about that set that it was like I feel like it's the first time we've had like a new band on the scene that's kind of exciting all of a sudden. Do you feel like that's kind of happening?
I mean, I'm very excited about it.
But the new bands that are like legit good and that people can get excited about, that, oh, there's something brand new to this whole scene, I think is a very exciting thing. It doesn't happen very often. Do you kind of feel like that's happening though right now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been really well received, and I also feel like all of us are coming into it. Like, we didn't form this band as a bunch of like 18-year-olds, you know, sitting around in our college dorm room playing and like slowly building up. It didn't have that kind of feel to it. You know, we all came into it ready to like, let's just start doing this thing. And all of us have background to do it, you know? So I just feel like it's a different trajectory than how a lot of bands come onto the scene, you know? Biggest pet peeve.
There we go.
Ooh, that's easy. Left lane drivers, they're the worst.
Do you have any pet peeves, like at music, at concerts and stuff like that? Because as I become more old man Bellini, I'm really getting tired of talking at concerts.
Yeah, I don't love it. I mean, I feel like the best musical experiences are when everybody's attention is in the same place. Like sporting events are the same way, right? Like part of the reason playoff baseball is amazing is because like there's way more riding on it, and obviously, you know, that's a huge part of it because it is what it is, but it also is that the fans are all paying attention and one thing happens and everybody is freaking out at the same moment, and that energy is like just incredible. Like same thing with a concert. Like if half the people are staring at their phones or talking to their friend about what they had for breakfast, not only does it kind of mess it up for the other people, but like you can feel it. It's not the same shared experience. If you're in the audience, the band can feel it if they're on stage, and it's this amazing shared experience that I don't feel like we get a lot of anymore. You know, so if you have the opportunity for one of those moments, I kind of feel like you're missing out if you don't get on the train.
I haven't had that opportunity with music, but I've been to a couple comedy shows now where they make you lock up your cell phone.
I think it's a great idea.
It's amazing. Like when everybody's actually talking before the show, hanging out, having a good time, and
Yeah.
then they're hyper focused on the comedians. I wish people would do that for music. I don't see that happening, people taking away the phones. I think it's interesting when you're out there playing solo piano though, because that sort of lends itself to people being present. It's not a get up and party kind of atmosphere. It's so people I find are more present. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a more inward thing. It's also so quiet by nature that I feel like, you know, if someone doesn't have that idea, they stick out a lot faster, you know.
If you're in the groove and you hear somebody's phone go off in the audience, are you hyper focused?
Oh, I hear everything. I hear everything. But I still try to keep my focus, you know, on what I'm doing. But I do love to play the game that like if the whole room is like super locked in and really quiet and you're playing loud and there's like one dude that walks in and is just like yammering, you just bring it way, way down and he just looks like the biggest asshole and everyone turns around and looks, you're like, ha. How much love can you fit in your heart?